Let's talk about Teams. So in this session, we're going to talk about new stuff to Microsoft from Enterprise Connect. And one of the the coolest thing, I think, was the QR code join. So Carsten, let's talk a bit about that QR code.
QR code, yeah. And one important thing is that it's different than the one that we know from the panels that we have outside the meeting rooms. For the end user, it's kind of look the same, that when you walk into NTR on Windows today, or when it's released, you'll have the QR code so you can join the meeting directly from that one. You can take the phone with the Teams app and you can join in. You can use the meeting cross-tenant, which means that you are not locked down, that you only have to be your own users that can do it, as we know from the panel today. So it is a super easy, fast way to book a meeting room. You just come in, no matter what you are, you just go in, scan the code and say, hey, join this meeting room into my meeting, and you're good to go, and you use that meeting room.
But
so
that's
a really
fine,
flexible one.
My first concern here is security-wise. Where are these QR code? Because I can just take a picture of it and show it to everybody else, and they could be able to use it.
It will change. It will change. I actually had the question from a customer that wanted to do for the panels that wanted to, why don't you just sign in and take a picture and put it as a background? It will change regularly. I don't know the interval, but the security is put in. And of course, yes, you can block it. I haven't seen it, but we only heard that you should be able to block that if external can join or not. So of course, it's an administrator. I'm excited about it because, hey, the world is a good place. Nobody wants no evil, so all is good, even though we are thinking security into anything. But yeah, really good point. Think about the security. But if you have trust with other, you can do that as well.
No, I mean, what could the worst part be? You could join a meeting, but you can't join a meeting which is already started. So the worst part would be that somebody joined the meeting and basically show up on the screen, but no people in there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you have access to this room anyway. I mean, but the meeting room are joining in, and a meeting room will join in with its meeting room account. So you can look up internal users in that organization where you are, but still you have access to that meeting room. So if you have access to that meeting room, we must kind of think that, okay, you are a trusted person, else you couldn't walk around. I mean, that's one of the things about the panel, because the panels are outside on closed areas, on open areas, where you can put a lock on the door into the meeting room itself. So, Again, there are some difference on them.
Yeah, I think one of the really cool things are it's cross-tenant. So as you said, like the QR code outside the meeting room, that is only for internal within your own organization. But when you walk inside the meeting room and you scan the QR code, then it doesn't matter which organization you're in. And I think that's really cool, because I hear a lot of customers that might be in a hotel or a multi-tenant house. Multi-tenant house.
Meeting spaces. Yeah.
And there's no really good way of having a Teams, native Teams rooms in those areas until now, where you have the QR code, which means that you can basically join. But no matter which one you're in.
I mean, but Michael and I had a shared customers.
So it's not possible.
It makes perfect sense.
Could you log it down so it's not possible to reserve the meeting room unless you use the QR code, for instance?
Yeah.
So you cannot, you will not get the join button if you say so, but you will be able to get the QR code instantly.
So what do you mean?
So let's say that I cannot invite this room to my meeting, so I will not have a join button, but the QR code will still be there, because then you can make it as a bring on device room, but just move your meeting.
I'm getting what I think I'm getting what you're saying, and I kind of can see the idea as well, but I don't think it's possible, because you will remove everything from the meeting room, so you don't have the option to pre-book it ahead and so on, because how would you else join it? So you have this meeting room where it's empty all the time, so you have the MTR or the QR scanned, so you go in and scan it for your meeting, but you haven't had anyone booked it ahead of you and so on.
No, but the thing is, we always struggle when we have this multi-tenant house that you have more than one tenant that needs to be looking into if the meeting room is available or not. And that can be done in so many ways. You can make some Power BI asking for it. You can make a Graph AI even. You can also have a third-party system running where it take care of all this for you, and you can look up if it's booked or not. But normally, what I am seeing today is if it's a multi-tenant house, you put meeting rooms into another tenant, so it's a tenant everybody can look into. And sometimes we just see that people is forgetting to book the meeting the right way, but it's still reserved, right? So, and then you'll be able to have the QR code. That's pretty much what I want to have the QR code, and you just move your meeting via your phone to the meeting room, and you're capable of doing it, right? So,
yeah,
in a sense, it's possible, but I would really love that Microsoft will make some thoughts about sharing the resource to other tenants than its own. But yeah, if it's booked or not.
But you can add a password or the meeting ID instead. If you don't want the join button, you yes. still have the join button, but if you hit the join button, then you need to enter the passcode. So that's already out there.
Yeah.
Another thing that came out, that was the join the meeting, or if you're going to do a direct guest join, you can now do the meeting ID. I think that's also a nice way. It will not have the QR code, but you will still have an option to do some ad hoc meetings in direct guest join as well.
Yeah, really nice functionality that comes out. Exactly. Just make it more user friendly. And that is the main goal, to come in, don't know anything about IT, and still be able to start a meeting without having to call the IT 15 times. I mean, that's got to be the end goal for all of us. But it's a step in the right way.
But the thing is, I actually see many people don't use this join by meeting ID, even though if it's a Teams room. And for me, that part is actually something I use quite a lot, because we have a demo tenant playing around with, and I'm not always inviting the right demo rooms into a meeting to make a demo, and I'm just present. Join by meeting ID, type in the meeting ID, bam, we're up running, right? And people is always say, wow, are you capable of doing it just by those numbers? And yes, I am. And you have all the security there. There's a meeting ID password. It will be the same for the direct guest join, right? And it just makes more sense to enable those features for people, but it's a part of the adoption plan you need to do when you're a company, right? So, yeah.
Well, I think it's part of the more ways that you have to join a meeting, the more ways people don't know how to do it. And often when I do like discussions about adoption, I normally say to people, don't explain all the ways that you can join or share content. Just choose one or two and then stick to that, because the people that are into the technical part, they will learn themselves how to do it. But again, I think it's a really valid point for us that do it more often, join meetings. Like when I go to Microsoft and I need to do a presentation there, apparently I'm not inside Microsoft and I'm not allowed to invite those meeting rooms, but I can always go up and hit the meeting ID and then join the meeting room from there. So I think that's a great point. Another new thing
I think it's a valid point, that don't teach the users all the options. What I normally do is a basic 2 or 3 way of doing it, and then come back in a couple of weeks and then have an advanced training and say, okay, people that are using meeting rooms a lot, come join this session, because the regular users click by join and the basic things to do that more than enough. And one thing I normally have is on the advanced course is the Bluetooth detection, and that will be the proximity join. And again, Lars, you were mentioning something about proximity join, that an enterprise that mentioned a new functionality. What's that?
Yeah, exactly. So previously or until now, we have the proximity join. So it's actually using Bluetooth to recognize there's a Teams rooms nearby, and that then it connects to the device. It does a name resolve, and then it actually just do a Teams call or remove the Teams call to the device. It still joins on the PC. So normally I still keep the Teams meeting running on my PC, but I then disable incoming video to save some bandwidth. But then I have my PC running, so I can easily do the chat and I can do the content sharing as well. But Bluetooth also have
I think we should mention some of the disadvantages with that one, because it all sounds purple and everything is good, and yeah. But what are the disadvantages with that Bluetooth technology that we have today?
Yeah, exactly. Bluetooth have a disadvantage that it actually goes outside of the meeting room. So that's one point. You could actually end up doing a proximity join to another meeting room. And it does also have the limitation of how far away can you be from that Bluetooth device.
I think that's the biggest one. So if you're sitting in the back of the meeting room, you wouldn't be able to do this. You need to be within 2 or 3 meters of the Bluetooth center.
Yeah, exactly.
And another thing is, if it's a system where you hide it away, some systems is meant for being in a rack or in a closet or something like that, and the Bluetooth is not there. It's simply because it's blocked by a metal shelf or something else. So it needs to be within reach, as I normally say to customers. If you're capable of reaching the equipment, it might work. But you also need to enable the Bluetooth on your own laptop or phone, etc. So, and now they just announced this ultrasound thing, and I've been waiting for this for ages. I think I heard rumors about it 2 years ago or something like that, and I've just okay, when is it coming? We have seen it.
You mentioned ultrasound. What does it actually do? Well, now you spoiled everything and said ultrasound. So we need to explain what is the technology behind it.
The technology is ultrasound is a sound that's so high we cannot hear it for the human ear. Some say they might hear it, and maybe there is some people who, sorry about that, but there's capable of hearing it. But right now, I don't think there's that many that can hear it. But it's so high, and your laptop's microphone can pick it up, and they will see each other based on this, and they will just move the meeting based on the sound that's in the room. The best part about sound is it normally stays in the room, so you're not capable of hearing it outside of the rooms. It's a wavelength, and it's not moving outside of the boundaries you have from the walls.
The room is designed for keep the sound wave within the room, of course. You don't want to expose it outside. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. But the thing is, by ultrasound, you when you join, it's when you move the meeting, it's done just like instant like this, because it recognizes each other, so it will move it. It will see the system just straight away.
And especially this proximity join, it's not just if you sit in a meeting room where we know it before we're sitting in your laptop and say, hey, you want to use this room. It's also if I'm sitting as a participant in the room and start up my PC, we know that there's some functionality that they say that, hey, you are in the room and you're not there are that many participants, you want to be muted and you're in the room, but it takes some time. Here with this ultrasound, I'm pretty sure that will speed up the process. So if you start up your laptop, joining the meeting, and if you're fast today, you will actually join in with your microphone and speaker, and you have this reverb.
That part is actually already released, Carsten.
Yeah. And again, I was just pointing out that part is what will add to it.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, that would definitely improve the Miracast. Sorry, not the Miracast part, but the Microsoft Cast part. Yeah, exactly. With that said, and all the mess up that I do, I think we should end this session. So, another fun session from Let's Talk About Teams. I hope you enjoy it. Let's see you out there. Bye.